Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. In this video I review the 2023 film Genie, starring Melissa McCarthy, Paapa Essiedu, Marc Maron, and Alan Cumming. I'll tell you what I like about the film, I tell you what I don't like about the film, then I'll tell you why I think you should see the film or just skip it. So let's just get to it. The first thing I liked about the film is that it is not a magical Negro film. Now what I mean by that, well, there's this whole trope with the so-called magical Negro where you have this character who is black, who has no real characterization, no real backstory, no real depth, and they're there just to serve as a story of a white actor. And so when I saw the thumbnail or the poster for the film, I assumed that it was that kind of film. I thought Melissa McCarthy was, like the rich white woman, and the character played by Paapa Essiedu, Bernard, was essentially like the Genie. But in fact, it's reversed. So Bernard is a black family man, and Melissa McCarthy is the Genie. Now I will say it does have some of the weaknesses of the magical Negro genre in reverse, where she doesn't have a real backstory. They do have a backstory, but it's just kind of something that painted on it. It seemed like at the very end, not really any depth or any detail to it. She doesn't have any real strong characterization beyond just her role as a Genie. But again, I just think it's refreshing that it's not that old trope, the way that we say it with mainly black actors playing the characters out death. It's just kind of reversed. Now, I would much rather see a film that has a more drawn out, more detailed Genie character. But again, this is better than what we had probably say back in the 90s. The second thing I love about this film is that it's a family first film. So the thing that the main character Bernard wants is his family back. That's basically it, pure and simple. As established early on, it's not about money. He's not trying to chase some random supermodel or some random person that, in reality probably wouldn't have a chance with. Rather, he wants his daughter. He wants his wife back. And I love that. I love that this is a film that's showing a black man in a positive role. Again, trying to get his family back, trying to make better decisions a second time around with that, and kind of using the Genie's powers for that end and not some stupid superficial end. And the third thing I liked about the film is it's actually funny. So this is one character played by Luis Guzman, who I'll say it's a police character, and he's actually pretty funny. So Luis Guzman has been in probably every movie as a background actor that you've seen, a lot of movies, but he's actually funny. Melissa McCarthy's funny. Now, if you aren't a Melissa McCarthy fan, then this is not the film for you. She's just doing her thing, but I find her funny. I like her as a character in a lot of things. One of my favorites is This Is 40, where she's playing his mom, and there's this really funny scene with her in it, and so she's funny. It's not as hard edge as This Is 40, kind of some of that stuff, but she's good. She does her thing. And there's other little funny parts in there too. So Bernard's family comes in at one point, and they're funny. There's a whole funny scene with them. So I laughed at this film. Now it's not like, Eddie Murphy funny.
Why y'all just like Prince?
It's not super, I don't know, Will Ferrell level of funny.
10 a.m. Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
But it's a silly funny, and it's a family funny, so you can watch it and not have to worry too much about it. It's okay. And so what didn't I like? Well, there's two things I mainly didn't like. First, at the very beginning of the film, Bernard is pretty hapless, pretty incompetent. He kind of walks into the bad situation that he finds himself in, and so he's pretty bad at the beginning. And honestly, had I not been reviewing this film, I don't know if I would have made it through the beginning. The other thing that I didn't really like was, and I'm not even going to say the wife, the way that she was written by the writer of the film. She's pretty horrid. Now I guess the idea that this is the last straw and Bernard has been, absent-minded in the past, but to me it felt like very much of an overreaction. Like every time, I would say at least in the beginning of the film, the first, honestly, 3/4 to, even towards the end a little bit, there was this whole thing about every time he showed up, she was like, well, this is weird, and she was very critical, very get out of here type vibes, and I'm like, man, I don't like this person. Now, she's redeemed at the end, I'll say it that much, but for most of the film, she was really bad. Like, I was very much like, every time she was on the film, like, this is not good at all. And there was another little allusion to that, so I'll a little bit, I guess a mini spoiler, but they are separated a little bit at the beginning. It's a trial separation. And there's an allusion to her, like, seeing a guy during the trial separation. And this is, like, a week or two after they separate. Like, I mean, are y'all getting divorced? Like, what's going on here? So, I did not care for the wife at all. And again, it chalks up just bad writing. Oftentimes, I think, sometimes wives sometimes aren't written that well, especially when the husband is the main character. And I guess I'll throw in two more things that I didn't really like about the film. One was that there's a lot of contradictions in the film, and I can't say too much about it without giving away plot points, but there were rules that were set up that were broken, and it just didn't make sense. It felt as if they kind of, like, they had the rules set up, and then in, like, either post-production or reshoots or whatever, however that works, they changed the rule to make it work. It kind of reminded me of Wonder Woman 1984 when the cheetah character, she is told, well, everyone's told they have like one wish, essentially. And then she gets another wish at the end of the movie, which doesn't make sense, just because it works for the plot. So I felt like there was something like that had to happen in this movie as well, because it's dealing with wishes. And so that was something I didn't really care for in this film. And just one last thing I didn't like was, this is a family film, and they have this one little joke where they have the daughter, like, say, well, mommy said you were a selfish bastard. Like, that was kind of in there. She's like an 8-year-old, and they mentioned she's 8 years old. And so it's like, I get the joke. Like, I get why they did it. It's almost like, this is, this is what mommy has been saying behind your back. But it's a family film. Like, calling someone a selfish bastard doesn't really work in a family film, in my opinion. Especially when you're sitting down with, like, a young kid. Like, this isn't something you want your kid to be repeating. So that's the one little problem there. Though I will say it wasn't, that was a one incident. If you can get past that, I think you're fine. But yeah, that was something I felt that was a bit out of place. And I guess there's another little gag about the genie threatening to kill people, which I know in Aladdin that wasn't allowed, but I guess this genie's allowed to kill people. And that's a joke in there as well. So it's like, but it wasn't taken to the point where it was like gruesome or like she was like plotting to murder someone. It was just like, well, I can just, that type of thing. So that was kind of tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, it's a family film, but it's a family film with caveats. Alright, so should you see this film or just skip it? Well, I would say that if you are not a fan of Melissa McCarthy, skip it. Because this is very much her film. And in regards to, it's her comedy. Her type of comedy. Which I thought was fine, but if you don't like her, then this isn't going to endear her to you. Also, if you are someone who, with your family films, no sexual innuendo, no allusion to violence, no bad words. If that's something that you don't want at all, like zero tolerance in your family films, then this isn't a film for you, because that's in there. Marc Maron's character has a thing, like a little back and forth with Genie. Or not, her name's not Genie, her name is Flora, but the Genie character, the character who plays the Genie, Flora, who is played by Melissa McCarthy, who is the Genie. There's a little back and forth between them. And so, it's a little sexual innuendo. So if that's something that you don't like, then this isn't a movie for you. However, if you want a silly Christmas movie that has a black family in it, then this is it. This is a movie. This is a movie. This and Candy Cane Lane. Sorry. If you want something that's more like straightforward, clean, family friendly, do Jingle Jangle. I love Jingle Jangle. That's one of my family's go-to. But this film is fine as well. And again, it has enough in there for adults and kids, though it's mainly kind of, I guess it's leaning towards adult, but it's a family-oriented movie. You have an 8-year-old in there that's pretty cute. But yeah, so that's where it is. So it's a family-friendly movie with a few adult kind of jokes in there. But I would say see it if you just want a silly Christmas movie to watch this year. Now, if you found this review interesting and or informative, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. And if there are other Christmas movies you'd like me to review, please leave those suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.